Hi fellow enthusiasts, welcome to my channel. Let's go into today's video and we're going to come back at the end to wrap it up. So to create a Google form, you have to go into your Google Drive. So if you don't have one, it's easy to create one. Just go to google.com, sign up, and then you go into your Google Drive and then click on new and then Google Forms. As easy as that. So click on Google Forms and then you start creating a form. So you can start by designing it, by maybe giving it a theme, color, customizing it. So I want my text to be impact, so I change that. And the text, and maybe I can use any format that is available here, and then font size and all that. Impact, let's make it 22 or maybe 24 is good. So customize as you want, and then my questions will be in this text font. I make it 14 characters and the font size, and then maybe I can put an image at the background. So choose an image. Let's just take this. Let's find something that we want. Let's use the butterfly and insert that image. So we just update the top of my form. I can preview it right away and see what it looks like. Yeah, this is how my form looks like. I'm liking it already, so I'm just gonna go in and give it a name. So I'm gonna say uh, my first questionnaire, and then I give it a description, maybe postdoc postdoc assessment. Again, I'm just making it up. I think I like that. Then I go to my questions right away. So let's just close this. Go to my questions. Let's start by introduction. So say first name. What is your first name? What is your first name? And then because I want to duplicate this, I can just go ahead and click on this. I want to repeat the questions. Instead, I'll just change this to last name. What is your last name? Let's make this one section. First name, last name is one section. Then I want to make it mandatory, so I will turn on this required. Then this is also required. Then I go to I create another section. I can add more questions, but I can just create a new section. This section will ask you additional data. Sorry. Then I'll add a question to that section. And then that question will be, what is your email address? And then I'll duplicate that question, and then I'll say, what is your phone number? So because I'm asking for a phone number here, I probably want to validate the number. So if I'm asking for let's say response validation, I want to validate the question, so it's going to be numbers only. So it will be number only, and is number. I'm just gonna say is number. So the response must be a number, and I can say it is required. So whatever you're gonna give me here is gonna be a number. So must be a phone number, a valid phone number. All right. So let's preview this again. So we have the preview already here. So I'm gonna refresh it. So next, I must enter my name. All right. Only my last name was mandatory, so I just enter any text. Go to the next page, and then phone number is mandatory. Must be a valid phone number. So let me try numbers. So when I enter numbers, it will take numbers. But when I put letters, it will not take letters. So you can validate whatever you're asking for, right? So this is fine. So if valid, we said must be a valid phone number. So we're giving you a clue what that answer should be. And then this is a short answer. We can make it a paragraph or whatever, but it's not required here. What's your email address? Click on that and make it mandatory. And then here, first name, make it mandatory. And then we can go to section 3. So we're going to add another section here. Main survey. This one is main survey. And then we just start give it a description. Answer the below survey questions. And then you now start adding your questions. So question 1, whatever it is, question 1, and then you have, if it's multiple choice, then I'll just give you the options. And then question 2, let's add more questions. Question 2, I want this to be a different kind of maybe checkbox. And then I just get, yeah, and so on and so forth. So you can duplicate the question if you want, and then just becomes question 3, just rename it to question 3, and so on and so forth. So once you finish creating your questions, you can go back here in the settings, and you have to do some housekeeping. So for instance, when I get a response, I want to collect the email address, so I have to turn this on. If I don't want to put it off, but when I turn it on, then I have to send, there's an option to send a copy to the respondent. I can make it when you want. If you say I want it, when you submit, it will ask you, do you want to get a copy? Or I can say always send it. So let me make it optional, and then allow editing of response. If I do this, then when I submit a form, I will have the option to go back in and edit what I've submitted. That means the entries will be updated, not overwritten. It will be updated. Actually overwritten, yeah, it will be overwritten. Now, if I want to limit response to 1 per respondent, then the person will be required to sign in. And if I don't want them to sign in, I don't want to put this on, so I'm going to turn it off. Presentation. So when I submit the form, I want to send a message. I want to show you a message that lets you know that I've received your response. So I'm going to say, thanks for responding to my first questionnaire. All right, then I'll save it. So anytime you submit a survey, you're going to see that message. And then view results at the end. I don't want to do that. Autosave, I'll leave it that by default. All right, form default settings apply to form. Okay, let's check the options here. Collect email by default, you can turn it on or not. If I make all the questions mandatory by default, then you have to answer each one before you can submit, but I don't want to do that. So now I think we're pretty much good to go. I just need to do one more housekeeping thing. So here there is a spreadsheet here that I can link to my response. So as people respond, I can get the answers here. So here I'm going to create a new one. It's just going to call MFQ, my first questionnaire. And then I'll create it. If I have an existing one, I'll click on here and then I'll select an existing one. However, we just want to create a new one. So MFQ, I create an MFQ. Now this is the form. It has all the information, timestamp when I responded, the email address, first name, last name, and all that. So I can format this if I want. I can make it bold, and then I can select and then just expand, right? I can make the characters bigger. um let's say I can just font size, I can increase my font size to 18 for instance, and then this will be just for readability when I'm done. And then I can increase the area of that, and then play around, do whatever you have to do. Let me make center this, put in the middle and all that. So if it's beautiful enough for you, I can select this. I think it's too big now, but I will fill it, make it a little bit grayish, or even I can even make it dark, can make it black, and then just change my text to white. Yeah. And then my font size is too big. Let's just make it 14. All right. So after you've done that, you have edited, you're good to go. Now, I'm gonna go back here and send the form so people can start responding. So I click on send, then I can email. So I have to enter their email addresses. I can use the link, shorten it. I always like shorten version, copy it, and send it to my respondents. Or I can embed it on a website. So I click on embed, then copy this and embed it on the website. But we've copied it, so let's just test it in an incognito browser. So this is our beautiful questionnaire, my first questionnaire. So I can just go ahead and start responding. Email address, we didn't validate, but if I want to validate, so I'm just going to do that. So first name, last name, and all that. Next, what's your email address? I think we have it twice, so because we're just trying. So I'm going to ignore that because it's not mandatory. Phone number, I'm going to try something else. It says you need a valid number, so I'm going to put a number. All right, next. Question one, I'm going to pick one. Question two, I'm going to pick two. Question three, I'm going to pick one. And then that'll be it. Then I'll submit. Now, see this option I have here. Send me a copy of my responses. Remember, we made it optional. So because we made it optional, you can enable it and say, okay, yeah, I want to get a copy of it. Once I submit, and then you submit. Now it says, thank you for responding to my first questionnaire, because that's what we wanted it to show you, right? Now we can go in and edit it, and we can submit another survey, right? So let's submit another one. Again, same person. Next. Again, phone number 123456777. All right, next. And then question one, question two, question three, five. Then I don't want to receive a copy, so I click on submit. Now I can go back and edit and say, oh, I actually want the copy. So let's go on and next, and then we'll say, yeah, I actually want the copy. So depends on how you want to do that. Now, if you go back to the spreadsheet, you would have seen our answers are already entered, right? So options and our responses. If you go back here and you click on the responses, if you go down here, you will see a chart showing us how the people have responded. So it's tabulating it for you in real time, so you can just copy and paste and use it as you want. Question one, everybody answered 100% the same, and then question two and three, different responses. So yeah, and I think we are good to go. Now, if you change your mind and you say, I want it to be mandatory so that everybody gets the copy of the survey once they finish it, you turn it to always. And then what happens is when I go back to the form, when I go back here and I respond next, it doesn't matter if I want to receive the copy or not. I'm just going to change this answer and I click on submit. It doesn't ask me if I want to receive a copy. It just gives me a copy. Edit response. Let's try one more time. Next. Next. And then there's no, a copy of the responses will be emailed to your address you provided, to the address you provided. So it doesn't ask you. So if that's what you want, you can turn that on. Then you click on submit, and then yeah, the form is updated. So if I go in my responses, two people responded because it's using the same identifier. It's telling you the same email address, so it's going to increment the email address just to delineate and show a separation between the two. And then yeah, so here are my responses. And then yeah, okay. So my questions back here. You can add more questions. You can import. This one is for importation. I have other questions elsewhere, so I can import those questions. I have a previous survey that I created. Let's say, let me just take this one for Hacker Research Institute. I'm gonna import that, and it will ask me. I have just one question, so I'll just import that. So you have questions created elsewhere. You can import them over, right? I can keep importing questions as much as you want. On this section, I'm going to import more questions. If I have questions created in Google Forms elsewhere, I can go ahead and import those. So let me import this one too. I have multiple questions. I don't have to import all of them. I can remove the things I don't need, uncheck the ones I don't need. I think because the ones I need are few, so let me just pick the ones I need. I need a name of a shorty. I need to tell me this information. I need to tell me about this, and then I import what I want. Okay, so they'll be added to my questions, right? So this is a video you have to watch for something. Yeah, I've imported the questions. So once you save it, this question is now available in your survey. So if I go back and I say submit a new response, for instance, these questions will be available for me. All right, so let's just do what we did before. Next, this is required. Right, not good when you are still creating the form to make it mandatory, because it becomes annoying if you have to go back and edit something. So here you can watch a video that tells you about the next question, and so on and so forth. So once you're done, you click on submit, then you are good to go. All right, so if you have a question on this video so far, let us know and we'll do our best to try to address your questions. By the way, this is similar to using Microsoft Form. Similar. You create the questions the same way, and you can submit, you can edit, and do everything similarly. They just look alike. All right. Maybe if there's interest, we can do that the same video for Microsoft Form, but Google Form is as easy as it comes. All right. Thanks for sticking around to the end. That'll be it from us today. Please, if you have not subscribed, do so right now. And don't forget to like and share this video. Until we come your way again with more contents, stay enthused.